Fox News is now streaming live on Fox One. When news breaks, we don't just report it. We go beyond the headlines to get the full story. Get live coverage, in-depth analysis, and perspectives from the voices you trust, all in one place. Whether you're at home or on the go, stay connected to the stories shaping our world. Stream Fox News on Fox One. Download today.
Our next
Savaged
is a passionate entrepreneur and veteran workshop facilitator with 30 years experience in business coaching. Our next speaker also has a background in accounting and holistic psychology. Sharing with us today, Mind Shift, the future of mindset. Sharlene wants to deliver tools and techniques to help you create a life that thrives. She is the Vice President of Healing Through Love, a not-for-profit organisation that provides pamper days for women impacted by family and domestic violence. Right now, she's going to shift your mind. Would you please welcome to the 10X stage, Sharlene Lynch.
Thank you. What if I told you all of your dreams could come true? You can be, do, have, and share everything your heart desires. You just need to do two things. Hands up if you want to know what those two things are. That's every hand. You need to start with a vision of what your life could look like and follow up with the decisions to make it all come true. Sounds easy, and it is, when you understand what's getting in the way between where you are and where you want to be. It requires change, and some change comes easy. Some change feels like one step forward and two steps back. Yeah? That's because we were not programmed for change. In our first 7 years of our lives, we live in theta brainwaves, a fun, imaginary place where dreams and imagination. This is where we are easily programmed so we can learn the rules and techniques of how to survive. And by the time we're an adult, we think some 70,000 thoughts a day.
Indeed stream on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But that's not happening. I don't know what's going on. It could be YouTube shadow banning.
Probably.
Not restream. So
Probably. Who the hell knows, right? But anyway, guys, welcome to Savaged Unfiltered. Welcome to another episode here of craziness, chaoticness. No, it just seems to be like that. Everybody just seems to be thinking that this show is full of chaos and craziness, but it's not. We have fun on the show. We love bringing other walks of life here on the show. Loved Federica Brenson that we had on the show from Egypt just the other day, guys. Check that out. She's originally from Rome, Italy, but she's traveling. She's a scientist, and it was great talking to her, Joseph.
I went into the Fujia Brothers Zodiac Club in Southgate the other day to get some gnocchi. So I told them how I plugged them on the show. Shout out again, guys. You got another free plug.
I hate gnocchi. What the hell? I don't even know what the hell that shit is. What the hell is gnocchi?
Gnocchi.
Sounds like a Jewish dish. Gnocchi. That's Italian? That's Jewish, Joseph.
It's a potato dumpling noodle. We still call it a noodle. We still call it a pasta, but it technically is a vegetable. It's a potato dumpling that you make in a spaghetti sauce. And it's much better. It's much more filling because that potato dumpling is
Dr. Chef Michael Fenster would love that, Joseph. I gotta bring our guest in. She's in the green room, guys.
Savaged.
This program contains subject matter and language that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
There we go again. More technical problems. We live in the 21st century.
No! Savaged Unfiltered.
The only reason I know this is because I lived under tyranny. I lived.
Oh, shut the fuck up. You're a fucking
Your host, Michael Gardner.
Proper fashion at the proper time.
Like a Hellcat.
Hey guys, we made it. Guys, without further ado, this is Sharlene Lynch here on the show. Welcome to the show. How are you, ma'am?
Hello. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
And it's great having you. Yeah, awesome stuff. So Sharlene, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, I know you're from Australia. You've been on multiple of different types of speaking events, including I see TEDx on there. I see all types of different speaking events that you've been through, throughout your website and everything. Tell us a little bit about who Sharlene Lynch is here to the audience.
Hello, audience. It is 7:30 in the morning here. What time of the day is it with you guys?
Well, it's cloudy and miserable here. It's we're getting thunderstorms here in the state of Florida here in the United States, and I don't know how it is there in Detroit because Joseph here to the left of us lives in Detroit, Michigan.
Pretty nice day up here in Detroit, actually. We've had a cold spell again. We actually even had freeze warnings the last couple of evenings, but we're in the 60s again today. Pretty sunny, dry, and to answer your question, it's 1811 Eastern time here. But before we get too far, I got two things to ask you. Since we talked about gnocchi, do you have gnocchi in Australia? Do you like it? And do you know Paul Hogan? Because don't all you Australians all know each other?
So Australia is incredibly multicultural, and yes, we have gnocchi, and yes, it is potatoes, and yes, we still call it pasta, even though it might not be a pasta. You're right, it could be a dumpling, and it is a regular food at our house. We do something a little bit differently with it. Once we've boiled it a little bit, then we stick it in the fry pan full of butter, to add some extra carbs to it, and then fry it off. So it's soft on the inside, but then still crunchy on the outside. Absolutely delicious. And no, I don't know Paul Hogan, and we don't have kangaroos jumping down the street.
Joseph, they say... Yeah, I was going to say, I hope you don't mind me chiming in with this little joke, but, when they say, Australia... down under, it's not like that, Joseph. It's not like the Wild Wild West there where they have kangaroos all over the freaking place. But
no, it's not.
Yeah, I'm curious. That's great to hear that your twist on gnocchi, though. But I would think shrimp on the barbie, right? It's got to be your staple food, though, right? Let's get all the stereotypes in.
No.
Gotta have humor, Sharlene. I do apologize, but you got to put the humor in where it's appreciated.
We still call them prawns. It's okay. And we're more likely to have a prawn cocktail than we are to have it on the barbecue. It's a waste of effort to barbecue that. So yes, we do have barbecues. And in fact, most terraces or patios, backyards, front yards, they have a type of barbecue. It's even in the middle of winter, we'll still get outside and cook, especially more smelly foods like, salmon and those sorts of things.
Squarespace is a website that makes websites. Meaning it could create itself. Websites making websites. Websites making websites.
It's the singularity.
You did it, Adam Driver.
Oh, you did it, Adam Driver!
I'm in beast mode, hitting west to the east coast, stronger than superheroes,
Ain't nobody do it right.
Nobody do it like this. Nobody do it like this. Nobody do it like this. Ain't nobody do it like. Ain't nobody do it right.
what if the stories we tell ourselves about our beautiful bodies just aren't true? I'm the firstborn grandchild of Irish immigrants to Australia. I learned very quickly that to matter, that to be enough, that to be loved and to be important, you needed to be born a boy. That message was repeated time and time and time again in my early years. So I began to believe it to be true. So I lent in to being the very best tomboy you could possibly imagine. I was generally covered in dirt. I would bite the dog just to prove superiority. I climbed every tree I could climb, even climbed on top of the roofs. If you couldn't find me, I was generally sitting on top of a roof somewhere.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
Yeah, it's we're just as cultured as you are.
Yeah.
I can assure you.
That's my next bucket list, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry?
You have bad beer?
No, we don't have bud beer, but we've got everything else. We've only just started a new trend here in Australia of having non-alcoholic wines and beers.
What?
Become a thing. They're everywhere. Whereas when I lived in the States, you had alcohol in the shopping centres because it didn't really have very much alcohol in it. So yeah, we're only just
Sharlene, we have a lot of alcoholics here in the States. They're all over the place, yeah.
I love it. Well, you asked a little.
That's why I always used to drink Molson Ice, 7% by volume, over the wimpy, weak American beers, because I'm in Detroit, just across the river from Canada. You know.
I love it. So you asked a little bit about me and how I got here. Well, it's a fascinating story. It's not a happy story at all, but you know, sometimes in our lives, it's the things that really the hurt. That is what creates the biggest impact. It would be great if humans could respond better to pleasure than we do to pain, but we don't. We respond better to pain than we do pleasure. So September 2011, I had my own 2011, my own September 2011, my beautiful baby boy took his own life. And he was only a week off of his 18th birthday. And that was a pivotal point for me in my life. That changed everything. It pulled back the covers on all of my complications. At that point in time, I had been a hoarder for a very, very long time. I was a good hoarder too, not just a little hoarder. We're talking spectacular. We're talking 33 cubic meters of stuff. So, you know, they write movies about the type of hoarding I did. I was an alcoholic, had been an alcoholic for more than 30 years. OCD to the point of self-harm, ADHD to the point of total distraction, and was considerably overweight, 25 kilos, and riddled with all sorts of health issues. So, you know, I was living like that, and I was still living like that, and I was still happy to keep living like that. And I had it was an awakening to have.
So Sharlene, how did you you know, so to speak, conquer all that? How did you overcome all those obstacles?
Yeah, great question. On the night that he passed, I had been praying that I'd been able to bring him back, and then ambulance officers came. They worked on him for 15 minutes, and I was also praying that they'd be able to make a difference. And it wasn't until I got an answer to my prayer, but it wasn't the answer I was expecting. I was expecting, you know, a Lazarus moment, and they would bring him back to life. But I got a one word answer to my prayer. It was very loud. It was audible. I could feel it in my body. I thought everyone else in the house could hear it, but it was a word that was just meant for me. And it was forgive. And
forgive.
That changed everything. So a little bit later, when I was able to stand up, the ambulance officer asked if I wanted to go in to say goodbye to Scott. So I did. Like, he's 6'2", so a big 17-year-old, like just under 6'3". And I lied down and put my head on his chest and I said, Mummy forgives you for your choice. And that was a really powerful moment for me. Like it was instant forgiveness. I've never experienced that before. And now, even though I forgave him for his choice immediately, it took a really long time for me to forgive myself. And that was the biggest journey, is the journey of forgiveness. Mother's guilt's a real thing. Parent guilt's a real thing. And it took quite some time for me to forgive myself. So yes, and that's probably the very first step of me being able to, I call heal at the speed of love. And that is to have forgiven my son for his choice and be able to move forward.
The stages of grief: shock, denial, anger, acceptance. You've got to flow through those. And like you said, sometimes the good times often come and go and get forgotten, but it's the bad things that shape our character, which reminds me of the Star Trek V movie. That's the one. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you're a Trekkie or a sci-fi fan at all, but that's the one where Spock's long-lost brother nobody knew about till they created him for that movie. His half-brother comes and heals people's pain. He uses the Vulcan mind meld to go into people's minds. And and Shatner's character, Captain Kirk, says to him, "No, you are not going to relieve my pain. I need my pain. It's part of me. It's what made me who I am today." And we need to remember that. That to me was such a very important movie for that thought alone. You may not like negative things that happen, but they reveal and sometimes help develop our positive character, like you expressed. You then turned a corner.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. And it began with the healing. It began with the forgiveness.
Vigo, family-friendly meals in under 30 minutes. Start with Vigo red beans and rice. Add scrumptious sausage and bring a few friends to the party. The flavor of the Big Easy done nice and easy. Vigo, spice up your dinner table.
Absolutely. And you're right. I jumped from stage 1 grief to stage 5 in a matter of seconds, which meant that
like a switch. Yeah.
Well, I took the command seriously and forgave instantly. Yes. So later on that night, so in Australia, if there is a suicide, the police come. It's what happens. So the police were there, they're investigating everybody, just in case there's nefarious things happening. That's what they have to do. So the police were there, they're investigating and querying people, and I'm sitting on my couch with my feet just shoved in underneath my legs, almost rocking in a fetal position. And I'm staring at my giant cup of coffee that's now going cold. And because I'd gone through the space of being able to forgive, I was in the next space, which is I was in a position to make a decision. And I was staring at my coffee and I said, I'm gonna thrive through this. I'm not just gonna survive. That's what Scott would want. And that was it. That was the decision. And I think there's a really important lesson in here, and is the power of making a decision. The word decision means to cut off and kill. So think pesticide, suicide. So side means kill and die means cut. And we need to make decisions. And we too frequently we sit on the fence. When we sit on the fence, our own psychological immune system does not kick in to support us. So I'd made a decision. I did not know what thriving looked like. I just knew it didn't look like hoarding, alcohol, everything else that I was sitting in, that misery of a life I was living. I knew it didn't look like that, but I didn't know what it looked like, and I didn't know how to get there. But the decision was made, and that's really powerful. Yeah. So listeners, if you want to change your life, who do you need to forgive? And it's quite frequently yourself. And what decisions do you need to make?
And it's like when we had Sadia on, and she went through her story.
And to me, normally a product of incest would be when the child was born through an incest situation. I was born, my parents were married when I was born, and at a young age, my dad did bad things to me. And no one wants to be incest girl. No one wants to be the face of incest. But at a certain point, you're like, well, someone needs to talk about this because I'm not the only one. And I guess it's me. I've got all this stage experience from doing comedy and acting and things like that. You showed the beginning of the talk, which was very courageous of you, to put that on the podcast. At the end of it, I give my tips on suicide prevention. So I want to, jump to that because that will apply to a lot more people than just the sexual abuse survivors.
And I revealed to this audience for the first time, I myself am a suicide attempt survivor from 2004. That's why in Terror Strikes there is a major suicide prevention thread. I made that turn also of, okay, I now need to demonstrate to others all life has meaning. And you may not understand your point and your purpose. You may not understand and see the value you bring to others' lives at this point, but it's there. It's like Clarence in the It's a Wonderful Life movie. Be somebody's Clarence. Show them how their life has brought value to others, and you get to show others that there is life after that, and to go on and to honor your loss by helping others.
Yeah, Charlene,
Absolutely.
I do apologize. We have some storms like that are coming in, so I hate to cut it short with you, but it's going back and forth. I notice the recording coming in, going. I hope I gave you enough time to to plug in your content and everything. But for some of the listeners that want to know more about you, where can they find you at, ma'am?
Yeah, just look for Sharlene Lynch, spelt the Irish way with an S, not a C, the American way. So Sharlene Lynch, I'm everywhere: Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and also on the website. So I'd love to share with your listeners the 5 stages of how to get to where you want to go. But maybe we can jump on again another time for that.
Yeah, maybe. Like I said, Florida, the sunshine state, but it's also known as the tropical state. The storms coming and going in this great state. But it was great having you on Savaged Unfiltered. I heard your story and love it. Yeah, thank you very much. Heart to you too, ma'am. But yeah, thank you very much, and continue fighting. Just emotions, grief, because everybody has it, Charlene. I have it. Joseph has it. Everybody. United States, is going through crazy amounts of all of that. And,
we had
the
so
world,
many more suicides because of the isolation of the lockdowns of the Wuhan hysteria. So and there's still higher rates than ever. So these messages are important.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Charlene. And, take it easy, ma'am. Thanks for being on the show.
Bye for now.
Alrighty, Joseph. I gotta freaking storms here. They're getting bad. I try to dodge it, but it is what it is. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to get kind of get rid of the show real quick, because it's coming and going. I think that's what the storms up. The palm trees are swaying pretty hard.
Close out on our terms before we accidentally just go down in a heap and crash.
But she was great. I think she's she's got a lot of great stuff, and I hope to have her back on, because she reached out to us and she seen the show, so she wanted to share a message.
Well, we close out another very, very serious, and we're not only politics here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Guys, remember, keep it savage, and we'll see you next week on Static Radio. Joseph, myself, and Sauce here. That should be a fun show. Thanks a lot. Take it easy, guys.